Hello, welcome in the new video with a new point. In the earlier point, you have studied about the composition of Palampur and the factors of production. These 2 points you have studied by the earlier video. Now we are moving ahead with the next point, that is the farming in Palampur. While studying the farming in Palampur, the following points we are going to see. What are the points are there? On this base, we will see the farming how done in the Palampur. The first is land is fixed. Then next is change in the methods of cultivation. To get more production, it is needing to change the methods of cultivation. Multiple cropping system, modern farming. These 4 points we will study in this video. The remaining point, the sustainability of land, distribution of land, labor, capital, and selling surplus product that we will see in the next video. So we start the point with the land is fixed. The first point is farming in Palampur. The land is fixed. The land on earth is not going to extend. Maybe the population will increase. The needs of people is going to increase. But then also the land is going to remain as it is. So in Palampur also land remain fixed. So to solve this problem, what these people done? What were the solutions that we will see in this part? The land is fixed. The first point we will see here. About 75% population of Palampur is depending on the farming. So most of population is dependent on the farming in the Palampur. This is the agricultural country. So this is just example here. The same picture we can see in other villages also. Most of population of villages is depend on the farming. But for farming, the main obstacle is the land area under cultivation is remain fixed. The cultivation land is not going to increase. There has been no expansion in land area under cultivation since 1960 in the Palampur. So no chances. In the earlier point, we have seen the land is fixed in the Palampur. Now we are having the question, is there a way one can grow more from the same land? The land will remain same, but how could we get more production? That we will see, or how the people of the Palampur trying to get more production. All land is cultivated in Palampur. Nothing remain. Every part, every corner of land is used for the production. No land is left idle. The land is not there, which is not having useful. There are two seasons. In this both season, people are taking crops. First is the Kharif. Kharif is with the onset of monsoon in the June, July. Like bajra, jowar. These plants are produced in the Kharif season, and this is useful to the cattle also and for human being also to complete the need of food. Then the second is here Rabi. Rabi crop is used in the October December. The Rabi season is having of the production wheat, gram. These are produced in the Rabi season. In the both seasons, the people are trying to get more and more production. Along with this, some part of the land is secured for the sugarcane also. So mixed farming is done here. Sugarcane is sold is in its raw form or as a jaggery to the Shahpur. The production of Kharif and Rabi After securing for family's consumption, after completing the need of family, the surplus production is also selling in the Shahpur market. We have seen that in the Palampur, people are able to take production from the Kharif season, from the Rabi season, or they are able to produce the sugarcane also. Why the farmers of Palampur able to produce crops throughout the year? What are the reasons for the farmers to produce the crops throughout the year? Because it is possible due to the irrigation. The irrigation facilities are available there. Electricity is also available. Use of Persian wheels, use of electric pumps. These helped them to take production throughout the year. To grow more and to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as the multiple cropping. The cropping done in the Palampur is called the multiple cropping because from the same land, these people are taking production through the year more than one crop. Kharif also, Rabi also, Zaid also. These are the cropping pattern done in the Palampur. That is why this is called the multiple cropping. Why it is become possible? Because due to the irrigation facilities, due to the electricities, and due to the use of Persian wheel or also the electric pump. This helped them to grow the crops throughout the year. It is the most common way of the increasing production on a given piece of land. The multiple cropping is a very common way to get more production from the same land. All farmers in Palampur grow at least two main crops. Many are growing potato as the third crop in the past 15 to 20 years. The third crop also increased here. So these are the ways used by the farmers of the Palampur to get more production from the same land. This is not enough. Again, many ways these people used to get the more production. Different crops which are taken by the farmers of the Palampur: wheat, bajra, sugarcane, or potato. These are the main crops taken by the farmers of the Palampur. You have seen the one way to take more production from the same land, that is a multiple cropping pattern. The other way is also people are using to get more production, that is the modern farming methods. The methods are here to get higher production from the same land. Use of different machineries, pesticides, fertilizers. So through this, these people are trying to get more production from the same land. Modern farming methods. Before understanding the green revolution or the modern farming, first understand the traditional farming methods. What was it? In the traditional farming methods, the seeds used in cultivation were traditional ones were relatively low yield. The production from the traditional seeds were getting less or the low. So the yield is less. Next, traditional seeds needed less irrigation. For traditional seeds, the irrigation was not compulsory. On the base of rain also it were growing. So the less irrigation were needing for the traditional seeds. For traditional seeds, farmers used cow dung and other natural manure as a fertilizer. No modern fertilizers or chemical fertilizers used. For the traditional seeds, the cow dung or the natural manure was enough as a fertilizer. All these were readily available with the farmer. The seeds were available at home whenever crop is harvested. From that harvesting only, the seeds were secured for the next year for the traditional seeds or for the traditional farming. So it were readily available at home. The fertilizer or the natural manure was also readily available with them. So these were the ways for the traditional farming methods. Now you will see the ways for the modern farming methods. Then you will compare it and try to understand what are differences in the traditional and in the modern farming. Now see the modern farming method. The modern farming method is related to the Green Revolution. The French Revolution you have studied in the history, but this is a different than that. The Green Revolution is related to get more production from the farm. It increased more production, it given more yield from the same land. That is why this is called the Green Revolution. Yield is measured as a crop produced on given piece of the land during the single season. In the single season, the yield was getting more. It is measured in that way. Using high yielding varieties to get more production, the seeds are HYVs, which are called high yielding varieties, or in short HYVs used. HYV seeds promised to produce much greater amount of grains on a single plant. From the single plant, more production or more amount is getting. HYV seeds however needed plenty of water, but without irrigation it is not possible to grow the HYV seeds. It means it needed plenty of water and also chemical fertilizers. You have seen in the earlier, the traditional farming or the traditional farming methods are not needing compulsory more irrigation or the chemical fertilizers. But in a modern farming, it is needing compulsory irrigation, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Higher yields were possible. The higher yield is possible only from the combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. When these are available, then only the HYV can give more production. This is the modern farming method used in the northern India to get more production. I hope you are understanding the difference in between modern and traditional farming also, and how the modern farming given more production from the same land. For the modern farming methods, what are the needs here? HYV seeds, chemicals and fertilizers. Along with it, what things are used here in the modern farming methods, it is shown here. First, HYV seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation or irrigation dams, electricity, pump sets, canals, then tractor or the farm machinery, diesel. Automatically, the development is taking place hand in hand. One hand, the farming is getting developed, and other hand, the necessity things are also provided here, and that helps to develop the country. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the farming methods in India. In the northern part, the states of Punjab, Haryana and the western UP first used the modern farming. So the production in this region increased Farmers in this region set up tube wells for irrigation and made use of HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides for farming. Some of them bought farm machineries. These people bought farm machineries also like tractor, threshers, which made plowing and harvesting faster. They were rewarded with the high yield of fields. Cause of used modern methods in the farming, they got more production or high yield of the wheat. In Palampur, the yield of wheat grown from the traditional variety was 1300 kg per hectare. When traditional methods were used, that time the production was just 1300 per hectare. But with the HYV seeds, the production yield or the yield is went to 3200 kg. 13 into 2, it is more than double. So how the modern farming is helpful to get more production? This is given through this example. There was a large increase in the production of wheat. Farmers now had a greater amount of surplus wheat to sell in the market. So in this way, the surplus production is getting in a hand to sell in the market, and this is the way to complete the needs of the family and to get more capital from the same farming. So here in this video you have studied from the same land how could we get more production by using different methods of the farming like multiple farming, mixed farming, or the modern techniques of farming. Using the irrigation, electricity is also helped to get the more production. In the next video, we will see by using these methods what can happen. Will the land sustain? That we will see in the next part.